Hunter Biden's baby mama wants his butt in jail, and she filed a motion to hold him in contempt to get it done. This is the case of Lunden Roberts, you see here, with Hunter's baby that he doesn't want any part of. Apparently, this relationship happened some time ago. They've been in court litigating this stuff for quite some time. And you see here, Miss Lunden Roberts is suing Hunter Biden and just filed a motion for contempt, saying if Hunter Biden doesn't comply with giving her discovery, giving her some files and materials that she needs, that the court should hold him in contempt and throw his butt in jail, since the FBI won't do it. Here, the motion for contempt is brought by Lancaster on behalf of Lunden Roberts, filed April 21st out of the Independence County Circuit Court. Tells us that Miss Roberts comes and says the court previously entered a protective order on behalf of Hunty Biden, and that protective order was intended so that the defendant could fully answer discovery instead of constantly objecting and asserting the need for protection. Right? So what happened here is she is suing Hunter as the plaintiff, and she's saying, I need some discovery so that I can continue forward with my claim. But Hunter responded and said, I'm the president's son. Don't you know how important I am? You can't just go ahead and require me to give you all sorts of papers and documents and sit for depositions and all the things. So he said, I'll have a judge grant me a protective order so that I can be open and transparent with the court. And as long as all this stuff is protected, I'll be communicative and I can engage in the discovery process. So that court ordered that upon entering Hunter's request for an order, that there was an exception of great compliance with discovery, an expectation of great compliance with discovery. The judge said, okay, Hunter, I'm going to give you this, but you better cooperate with her if I do. Great compliance with discovery. We expect it. In fact, the court ordered that Hunter provide specific information related to the discovery at the last hearing in this matter. Said, I'm going to give you your protective order. And then at a subsequent hearing said, do this thing specifically. That a hearing was held nearly 2 months ago in February, in which the court entered the protective order and ordered the defendant to provide discovery, which he had previously failed to do. And in those 2 months, Hunter has provided no additional discovery, not so much as a single item or a word from Hunter, and has failed to supplement his answers at the court's directive. He's openly flouting the rules here. Ms. Roberts says that there is no valid excuse, there's no justification for Hunter's failure to provide the required disclosure, as the court has granted every single protective order that he's asked for since the inception of this case. Everything's protected, saying the defendant, Hunter, is playing games with this court, Your Honor, and that Hunter's actions are a willful and they're a flagrant violation of your court's order previously entered on his motion. He asked for the things, you granted it, and he's still flouting the rules. This court says, Miss Lunden Roberts, this court should incarcerate the defendant in a detention center in Cleburne County until Hunter complies with his orders and answers discovery. And the alternative, judge, you should sanction him as appropriate. Love that. Yeah, he's flouting your rules, judge. If you're watching this, he's just saying, hey, I'll get around to it. That can't stand in this court. Action must be taken. Incarcerate the defendant. That the defendant's action, says Lunden, are a willful and flagrant violation of this court's previous order on the defendant's motion. This court should incarcerate the defendant for flaunting the dignity and the authority of this court. It's true. In the alternative, this court should sanction the defendant. That this court, again, should order great compliance with discovery and compel the defendant, Hunter, to answer it. Now look at this. Lunden Roberts has retained an expert. Who is this person? Garrett Ziegler. Oh, the author of the Hunter Biden laptop report over from MarcoPoloUSA.org. A world-class expert on the Biden crime family. Knows the ins and outs of all the crevices where they hide their misdeeds. So he is now an expert, and he's a counsel for Lunden Roberts, cannot adequately prepare for trial, conduct our discovery, or utilize her experts under the current protective order because Mr. Biden will not answer discovery. This court should modify the scheduling order, which we will take a look at. So Mr. Garrett Ziegler, and if you have not listened to that interview with Garrett here on our YouTube channel, you're missing out. About 2 hours plus of a deep dive through the report where he chronicles all of the criminality of the Biden family. So he's being brought on as an expert witness, and if you listen to that interview, you know he's an expert on this. So you know this is going to be a big problem for Hunty Poo and his counsel. Lunden Roberts says that Mr. Biden, who has never appeared before this court to answer his repeated filing of spurious motions for protective orders and contemptuous acts, should be ordered to appear and show cause as to why he has requested the orders, been granted the orders, but still not complied with those very orders. And they say that Hunter, who owns a JD from Yale, which just validates how useless the Ivy Leagues are. He went to Yale and got a JD. This is this guy, all right. He's engaging in vexatious litigation practices. He has intentionally frustrated the litigation and forced the plaintiff here, Ms. Roberts, to incur excessive attorney's fees. This court should order that the defendant pay Ms. Roberts attorney's fees and costs as detailed in this motion. So throw him in jail, hit him with sanctions, or hit him with attorney's fees, order him to give us discovery, and whatever else you think is proper. Therefore, Your Honor, we're asking you hold him in contempt, compel discovery, modify the scheduling order, grant sanctions, give us attorney's fees, and whatever else you deem just and proper. Respectfully submitted, your friends over at the Lancaster law firm, Jennifer M. Lancaster, submitted in April 2023. So that's a lot of fun. And maybe Arkansas will do something about it. And maybe this judge will say, yeah, you're right. If local jurisdictions now can compel executive branch candidates, former presidents, waive executive privilege, waive attorney-client privilege. If this is the new game, well, Hunter Biden is not immune from any of this. They're going after Trump. They're going after Bannon. They went after Navarro. They went after a whole list of people, and they're not done yet. They're just getting warmed up. So here, another judge can easily say, yeah, Hunter is violating my orders. I've given him multiple benefits of the doubt, multiple opportunities, multiple protective orders to help this go smoothly, and he's still snubbing his nose at my court? Contempt. Or at least in order to show cause, to drag his butt down there and see what he has to say. It would be very well within the judge's purview to do that. If this were not Hunter Biden, very likely would have already gone that route. You can't just ignore court order. Judges don't like that, unless apparently you're the daddy's president. Although we'll see. This is Arkansas. This is not the DC Circuit Court. This is the scheduling order that Lunden Roberts was asking to be changed. You see, the judge issued this back in March, and we've got a trial coming up. Actually, it's not going to be until July, but it will be a bench trial. Judge says the above styled cause is scheduled for a bench trial July 24, 25, Independence County. All discovery is going to be due by this date, May 22nd. So we're less than 30 days out from that. And none of it has been submitted, apparently, according to Ms. Roberts, from Hunter and his lawyers. So this will be interesting, and a 2-day bench trial will certainly be fun. And this is in a state level court, which means we'll see if it's broadcast or not. Certainly would like to see it. It would be a lot of fun to see what old Hunter attempts to do to distance himself from more consequences of his actions, in this case, a human child.